I have picked up a bunch of Latitude stuff over the past year or so, maybe
Mhm.
year and a half. Looking really forward to trying out some of their new saddles they released this year once we get out in the woods here in a couple weeks. Specifically, the Lone Star saddle that Latitude makes, which was kind of a rendition of the TX5 custom saddle that I had before with the
Mhm.
Latitude logo on it and a few upgrades and improvements or changes or tweaks, and then also released their new Method 3 two-panel saddle, which I've actually never used a two-panel saddle before. It's something that's kind of all caught my eye, but just something I never tried. So I picked up the Method 3 two-panel saddle as well by Latitude this year. And man, I got to tell you, like I got actually three Latitude saddles to try out this year. I got their Maverick, which is their ultralight minimalist saddle, just, especially down here in the hot weather, just for quick hunts.
Mhm.
Real light, real simple, minimalist design. And then their Lone Star, which is what they call their Sadillac, right? Proper name for it because it's got all the bells and whistles, super comfortable, single panel saddle. And then most recently, I picked up, like I said, that Method 3, which is our two-panel saddle. And man, I'm excited to try all of them out. But I got to say that the Method 3, that two-panel saddle, I played around with it in the yard a little bit, and man, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's comfortable, and not only that, but the features in what they included on the saddle as far as the just the overall functionality of it is pretty awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to get that stuff out in the woods and play around with it here pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy saddle hunting. Like I told you, I started out with a really cheap, I wouldn't even call it entry level. I would call it like price point, cheap level, like the cheapest one you could possibly get. I won't name it.
Okay.
So I was the sucker that bought the cheap one. But my thought was, I'm going to try this. And if it
Yeah.
sucks, it won't be heartbreaking that I spent hundreds of dollars. It'll just be something I could throw in a drawer. And if I need it later, whatever, I could sell it
Oh
on
yeah.
eBay.
Easy, man. With a saddle, sticks, and a stand, you for high quality top end gear, you can be in $1,000 like
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the other thing on some of this Latitude stuff I picked up too that I'm excited to test out. I also got a set of their Carbon SS sticks, which I'm really excited to test those out. I've tested them out in the yard a little bit, preseason, and they seem incredibly awesome, super lightweight, very durable and strong, very, very easy securement system to the tree. And then also one of their profile platforms, which is also seems pretty awesome. Just some of the little things that each of these companies do, like we always say about all the companies of the stuff we use, just to give it a little different edge, or a little bit different feature rich or more comfort or more portability or just to
Mhm.
make it a little bit lighter, right? Just those little things they do, which are always kind of always what catches my eye too.
Yeah.
So
The next saddle that I'll tell you why I'm sharing this and make a point and then get your feedback on it. But the next saddle that I got was actually a trophy line, which is like worlds different than the saddle I had before that was a piece of junk. I probably could have fashioned something out of some rope that I got from the hardware store and been more comfortable than what that was. Trophy line saddle that I have that I got next was definitely a step up. The only thing that I'm struggling, well, there's two things I struggle with it. It's a little bit heavy, and then the connectors on it they won't cinch down. You can cinch them
yeah,
down, like specifically on the
the
belt
weight.
and on my waist. And so when I go to hike in somewhere and I have this thing on, cinch it down to keep it, up and keep it taut. And then as I start walking, it starts sagging down and dragging down, my pants and everything else that's under it. And so I actually have to cinch it down and then tie like a couple of loop knots in the belt to try to keep it like snug. And it's still based on the webbing and the material that it is, it still kind of slips. So I haven't figured out how to quite deal with that yet. I think I'm going to upgrade saddles. Well, I know I am. I'm just going to do it probably later in the year or maybe even after the season's over.